girl, JULIUS, your favorite girl. Everybody love me. And if you don't love me, I'm gonna need you to get to the roots, sis. Okay, y'all, we're back with episode 5. Oh, episode 5, y'all. That's beef. You know me. I can't focus to save my life. But listen, I get bad. Like I was this person. Let me calm down. I was this person who's always like just being overwhelmed, and I probably gonna say that to me times, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I was always this person who limit myself to just doing one thing, and that's doing hair. But I like to do a lot of things that's fashion, that's, you know, giving people advice, talking to people about, you know, their mental health, and just doing hair. I said hair, doing hair, fashion, just decorating. I'm creative. Like I love to do a lot of things, and I've always told myself that, you know, I'm just gonna do exactly what I want to do, and that was just doing hair. And I was just gonna limit myself to just do hair because I just don't like to feel overwhelmed, and I like to, you know, I just like to just give my all to things and not have do anything, because, you know, when dealing with people and God's people, I don't want to mishandle nobody. So like I said, I'm very excited to still be here, still be keeping going, even in the midst of the storm. Y'all, my hands is cold. I'm cold. But I told myself I'm gonna get up and I'm finna go to the shop and I'm finna record this video. I told my sister, you know, it's my team. This my sister is the my auto girl. She went to school for this, but I just put her in charge of the auto, and I told her, don't worry about it, sister. We gonna get it. You know, I just do everything. You ain't gotta do nothing. You know, you gotta come to the shop. I just figure everything out, and I'll do it, so you won't have to get out in this cold. So I am here shooting episode 5. I'm excited. Price break. Okay, so y'all, let's get on to episode 5. Y'all already know I like to give my nuggets, my notes, what we reflections, what we talked about last episode. Just, you know, just to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on. Don't want y'all to get off track. Want y'all to understand this is my truth. I want y'all to understand that God literally himself is using me. And that's the reason for me coming on here and telling y'all about myself first before I get into anybody else problems or anybody else story. I want y'all to, you know who I am. I want y'all to see the proof. I really want y'all to see the proof of, you know, me. Like, I'm the proof of who God created me to be. Because like I said, I never thought I'd be here talking to y'all. Like, what in the world? Like, the devil had me in bondage for so long, made me thinking I'm crazy, I can't talk, I'm deaf and dumb spirit. Like, yeah, it's me, JULIUS, talking. A lot of people don't know, y'all, I love to talk deep. So when I came off this podcast, a lot of people like, you know, thinking, oh, I'm somebody else or I'm changing. No, I'm still the goofy JoJo, and I always like to talk. I just don't like to talk with many people because a lot of people are not open-minded. A lot of people don't think how I think. So I always, you know, limit myself on who I talk to. But now, y'all you either watch or you don't. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I see a lot of people in my views, and they're not discouraging me. I'm doing God's work. I literally forgot to, you know, I wouldn't say I forgot, but I don't even like broadcast my clothing line with the Get to the Root sweatshirts. I don't even broadcast it, and I haven't got one sale. And you think that's worrying me? No, because I know God telling me to do this. I know that one day it's gonna take off. One day it's gonna reach many people. And y'all, when you change your mindset to think different, I promise you, things work out. Because literally yesterday, I'm like, I realized that I haven't been, you know, promoting my sweatshirt line or whatever, and I said, let me just upload it on TikTok, on Snapchat, and before I uploaded, like in the same minutes, like I know these people don't follow me on Snapchat. This lady someone texted me from Vermont. I don't even know what country that is, but she texted me from Vermont. She emailed me from Vermont and asked me did I have 6 sweatshirts available to be shipped off. And I'm like, yes. She was like, well, do you ship to Vermont? I'm like, oh, you know where Vermont is, baby. But yes, like, and I'm just, even if that order wouldn't have came through, or even if like she didn't, want to put the order in, because I don't think she still, I didn't look at it, but I don't think she still put the order in. But it's just the fact that she was inquiring about my sweatshirts from miles away. My boyfriend looked it up, and I think it was like hours away, like days, like a day away, and he was like, it was many Vermonts, but he was just, all of them was far. So not my ear feeling. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, I was just excited that she thought of me. Like, she literally emailed me from hours away, and like, she's seen Get to the Root, sis. Like, that means a lot. Even like I said, even if she didn't put the order in, or even she don't put the order in, I'm still grateful for her reaching out from all the way from over miles away. Like, you have to literally thank God for where you at. And you know what I'm saying, like, that's a part of becoming. Like, just thank God for where you are, like, being grateful, like, not being, and over the years, like, in one of this, like, last episode, I talked about how, God had told me, don't stop complaining about your apartment. Walk around, and I need you to thank God for where you are. I opened up every class, I'm thanking God for where I'm at. Like, thank you God. Like, it, like, my mindset literally shift, and within maybe a week later, things start to shift. The opportunity to me get a house, or bigger house with bigger space, came available. And it was just like how you just trust in God and be thankful and grateful for where you are, even if it don't work out in that moment, knowing that it's gonna work out. That's all it matters. So let's get on to episode 5. I want to give y'all a reflection of last episode, and I am using my laptop. Y'all already know I cannot see. My glasses are getting sent off. I got me some new glasses, so just bear with me, okay? If I stumble, if I fumble, it's okay. It's okay. The amount of people that is reaching out to me and telling me, and saying getting their voice back, and just talking about their anxiety, talking about, just being, just talking about it. Like, the silent battles, y'all, the silent battles are deadly, okay? So for people to just, get their voice again, to just say, hey, I think I love what you doing here. I love that you bringing that fire back. You bringing me back alive. You making me feel loved again. You make me feel like I'm not crazy, because I just want y'all to know that it's okay not to be okay. People look at me and they look, thinking I'm all cool and dandy because the way my outside presents, but people don't understand that people be going through things in the inside, and a lot of people just don't, they insensitive, and they just think that, okay, well, I'm just keep this to myself because people gonna think I'm crazy. I'm gonna keep this to myself because people not gonna understand me. I'm keep this to myself because I don't want people, to look at me weird. But let me tell you something, sis. When you find your voice, when you start to speak about the things that you're going through, I don't care how you want to, do that. Maybe get you a therapist. I don't know. But when you start to really get into the root of that and healing the issue and talking about it, like, I promise you, like, those weights are going to be lifted off your shoulders. And you have to trust the process. You cannot think that you're going to just change overnight. You cannot think that you're going to feel better. And when you're going through a healing process, when you're going through just getting first of all, sick relationship with God, and he sends you, and he gives you the tools, and he gives you everything that you need to necessary to get to the root of who you are, what bothered you, who you were when you were a little girl, what bothered you when you was a little girl. Like, all that stuff will come to pass, all that stuff. And it does not feel good in the beginning. It does not feel good for the couple of years, y'all. I went through a 5-year transitioning, and I didn't even understand it. But all I knew, I seeked God, and that happened. Everything was revealed, okay? Everything started to reveal itself, and I could not look at that as, I did think it was, the end of the world. I did, but God was walking with me. He had to be walking with me, because, You know, and like I said, the devil be working, God be working at the same time. But he was, you know, he was sending people in my life, and he was, you know, as I transitioned, y'all, oh my God, like, God is real. Okay? Don't let nobody steal that from you. Don't let nobody make you confused because their situation didn't work out. But like I said, people, you know, expect God to move on their time, and they don't understand, like, it's a process. Like, if things happen, it just, you know, it was meant to happen, and but it starts with you when you just really trust and believe. Like, don't, you know, your intentions, if your intentions not in it, and you just expecting God to come through for you, and you know what I'm saying, like, it's a process, y'all. It's a process. This is not in my notes, so, you know, I'm gonna be all over the place. So yeah, but it's a process, y'all. And I'm speaking on this because it's a lot of chaos going around on the internet about God and about Leviathan and just about the Bible. And I had to do my own research because, like, listen, the whole thing about it is you just need to get right with God. You just need to get your relationship with God. It's not, you know, it's not a time to be on this side and on this side and confused and double-minded. It's like, no, you need to pick a side and you need to stay there. You know, you need to seek their relationship with God. And as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing the people that I know that's saying that God is not real, and I'm just like, God, please do something in life where that, you know, show yourself approval who you are, God, and forgive them. Because, like, I know that God is real. Like, I know that God is real. It's been several encounters where he showed me who he are. It's been several encounters where he showed me just, you know, that he is real. Like, that he's real. And like I said, he's not gonna just take away your pain. You need to go through that development to find out who you are. And people think they can do it without God. I'm scared of you, baby. I ain't scared of you, but no. But let's get on to the episode. Let's get on to your reflections. And because I don't want to be here too long because I am cold. I am. So let's I'm gonna read my reflection. I'm gonna come over here a little bit because, like I told you, I cannot see. Okay, reflection on last episode. 2023 was the year of 2023 was the year of protection, honesty, and continued growth. I was still pushing forward, still standing on the boundaries I fought hard to build. On the outside, it looked like I changed. Weight loss, glow, transformation, but on the inside, anxiety was still working through my body. Healing was evidence of everything my mind had survived. This was the year I finally felt like myself again. After postpartum depression, my mind was clearing. My spirit was waking up. God even answered a prayer I didn't know how to explain. He sent people into my life who helped me feel like me again. Helped me get my fire back, even in small, unexpected ways. This was the year I also had. This was also a year of hard, honestly, decisions. I made a choice. I knew I was wrong. I knew I was wrong, and I would never make it again. But I'm not going to lie about where I was mentally. I wasn't ready. I was afraid of losing myself again. I took accountability. I prayed, and I kept moving forward. What 2023 taught me is that healing requires truth. Not pretending, not performing, not rewriting your story to make yourself sound better. I learned that sometimes forgiveness is instant, but self-forgiveness takes time. God also showed me his faithfulness in so many ways. I prayed for a bigger space, and shortly after learning gratitude in a small apartment, he opened the doors to a home big enough for me and my family. That season reminded me that gratitude prepares you for expansion. I met good people in 2023, but I also learned that good doesn't always mean alignment. When patterns felt familiar to my trauma, I chose to walk away, not because I was judging them, but because I was pretending. Not because I was judging them, but because I was protecting the growth I could finally see in myself. 2023 taught me that the boundaries aren't about punishment. They're about observation. That growth requiring letting go, and that choosing yourself when you're done honestly and responsibly, is time is more faithful than you can do. That was the year I refused to go backwards. That's it. So I just want to speak on the situation about the abortion, y'all. How the devil tried to make me feel like, you know, a lot of, you know, people gonna judge you, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? But I kept replaying in my mind, I am not here on this earth to be here to be pleased by people. If I was here to pleased by people, then I am not a servant to Christ. I kept putting it in my mind. It's a scripture. So you know, you know how the devil, he just really try to play on your mind, y'all. He really try to, you know, work. If he not working, y'all, that means you don't mean anything to him. Like, so I had to remind myself, and I had to really understand that, you know what I'm saying, when the Holy Spirit telling me to say something and I'm being my true authentic self, I cannot worry about the backlash. I cannot worry about who's gonna care, what people gonna think, none of that, because this is my truth. I know I'm self-aware, and I know when I'm wrong, and I know, you know what I'm saying, he also made me self-aware. Like, so I was able to, you know, ask for forgiveness, and in that moment I did not feel bad about it. I did not. And if y'all want people to sit on here and lie to y'all and just to make it sound good, then this is not the place for you. Y'all need to go to them preachers that, you know, that do that, because this is not me. Okay? And that's the problem in this. And that's the problem in this, and the Christian community. People, you know, people don't come at themselves. People don't, you know, they hide what they do, but they telling other people, they sweep around other people's porch. Like, I said, God, I never want to be the person that judge people. And, you know, when you bring me from places I never want to, or from things, I never want to be that person who look down on people. I want to be that person who say, hey, I used to be there before. And if you desire to change, if you desire to do better, then there is hope. Like, I want to be that person. Like, so, like I said, I'm just doing God's work. I'm just doing exactly what, you know, he wanted me to do. Like, and that's tell his people, you know, what I went through, so they can understand that you can also too come out of the darkness. Like, literally, that's all it was. I was in darkness, and for a long time, since I was a little girl. So that's all it means, that you can, that's all that I'm trying to really, you know, let, especially my age, like the people that's in my age group, and even just women like that, you can come out of the darkness. You can come out of the furnace refined. Like, that's it's possible. Like, it's possible. I understand, you know, the things that we go through are tough, but God didn't give you no battle till he think you know, you weren't strong enough. He won't put too much on you that you can bear. Like, get whatever he trying to get, you know, out of it. And you know, just do the words, bro. Just do the words. Like, everybody have a testimony. Everybody have a story. But, you know, figure out what, you know, God wants you to do with this story. Like, seriously. So, yeah, 2023, I moved into my home about in June, July. It was in the summertime. And August, I also was able to get me a car. And I think I told this story before. I just had so many problems when it comes to getting to cars. Like, every time I go to a car lot, they say you need a cosigner, and I am a hairstylist, and I do not keep up with how much money I make. And, you know, like, at the time, I did not, you know, I was not responsible. I did not, you know, I was naive. I did not help people in my life to tell me, hey, you need to be doing this, you need to be documenting, you know, you know, documented this. You know, I didn't have people in my life to, you know, tell me that, and I sure enough didn't have people in my life to, you know, get co-sign for me and do, you know, help me, you know, because my parents, you know, my dad died. My mama is like, my mama is a recovering addict, and she's been off drugs for a long time. But sometimes, like, people still have those traits, like the mindset, the poverty, you know, that get money and spend money, and, you know what I'm saying. So my mama has, you know, she's never been that type of responsible person, and I don't fault her for that. And, you know, but sometimes, you know, at times I did wish, like, oh dang, I wish I had the parents and to, you know, to help And you know, in that moment, it did make me sad because you know, I didn't have nobody. I literally worked so hard since I was a little girl, and because when my dad died, it was like I really had everything to do by myself. And we was staying in one room in my grandma's house, and I remember, you know, one day I just woke up and I just put, you know, I remodeled the whole room, bought me and my sister beds, painted the room, and bought us TVs, and I was doing hair at my grandma's house. Before then, I was still doing hair. I was doing the hair in the kitchen, waking my grandma up every morning, doing hair after school to late night, doing hair on weekends, 7 o'clock in the morning to late nights, like. I really worked hard even when I turned 17 and almost 18, I got an apartment. So, and like, you know, I used to dress up my pain. I used to, you know, I like to put on clothes, but at the time, like, I was really dressing up my pain. I really dressing, you know, trying to just camouflage the sadness that I was going through. But I used to buy me shoes, and a lot of people used to be like, you know, you spoiled, and it sounded good, and I never cleared it up that, hey, I'm doing this myself, but it sounded good. I'm like, you know, whatever. But you know, I was doing a lot of that for myself, so I always just know to just do things for myself, and I never like to ask people for anything. Like, so I guess that where they came from. What I didn't want to ask nobody for nothing. I just wanted to, you know, do things on my own. But like I said, I was just, you know, I would get. So I didn't have the, you know, I didn't document, you know, me, how much money I made and all that. And I touched so much money, y'all. I cannot lie. I've touched a lot of money over the years. But, so like I said, I didn't have that. I didn't document the things, you know, money and how much I was making. So I was having to go to these, just these shops that, you know, that sell lemons. And I had lemons. I've had lemons. So this particular year, actually, like 2023 August, I remember, okay, so I'm like, I'm building my credit. Okay, I'm finna give me a car. I'm finna try it again. So when I tried it, I went to the Benz company, and I with one of my homegirls, and they told me no. They told me, you know, I didn't get approved for the Benz that I was, you know, aiming for. And then so I was discouraged. But like I said, I was in that moment where God was shifting he was saying, hey, tapping on me, literally, hey, shake out of it, get up out of it. So it didn't last long. So when he was, you know, he was making me aware of the things that was making me sad, and the things that was trying to make me depressed, things that, you know, because the devil working so hard, he's like, you know, this girl is coming up out of this. I was in bondage since I was a little girl. So the devil was getting scared. He was really getting scared. So he's like, hey, you know, come up out of it. So I shifted my mindset. I said, this is not my time. It's not my time. So I waited a few months later, and I went to the car lot, and my cousin, she was just like, my dad, you know, he'll help you because he work on this, you know, he work at this Toyota, I think. So I went to the Toyota place, and they told me no. So I remember I wrote down that, you know, I was telling God that I wanted a luxury car. Not only did I write it down, I also, you know, was very vocal about what I wanted. Like, I wanted a luxury car. I didn't go into detail. I just had a luxury car. So the cars that I was trying to get, you know, they were nicer cars. But me, I ain't gonna say never, but I never had a legitimate car where, you know, where they, you know, they not gonna, you know, they not gonna BS you. Like, I never had a legitimate car, like a real car lot. So at this point, I'm accepting anything, because it's just like, they're like, what you want? I'm just like, you know, I just want a nice car. Like me, I just want a nice car. So like I said, that did not work out that day, and I'm just knowing that it was gonna work out because my cousin, my uncle worked there, and he was, you know, he did the best he could, whatever. But like I said, it's pretty hard when you're trying to, when you self-employed and you don't have anything to, and it's not even that, because even if you have that, they still want to see check stubs and stuff like that, because they just like, you know, they just want to make sure you can pay for their stuff, and I get it. But so. I'll never forget, like yesterday, this is 2023 August, and so this is also the year God was telling me, you know, it's enough of those silent battles. You know, talk about it. So I was really discouraged, y'all. I was really, really discouraged. Because like I said, I had waited some months later, and I'm just like, I'm knowing like, you know, I'm knowing that I can get me a car. And this was after I had got my Toyota fixed out when last episode when I told y'all. So I had my Toyota for a couple of months. So this time this time I'm getting the air. You know, I've never been that type of person to just like, you know, as long as I drive something, like long as my kids have something to drive, long as it's nice, like, you know, I've always been that type. So at this time, I'm getting like, okay, I want to get something for myself. Like I want to drive good, you know, not because I've never been the type, you know, to please others, to look like, you know, I've never been the type to just doing things because others doing it. Like I always want to do it because like I work really hard, and over this time, you know, I work really hard, and you know, I'm thinking, you know, I deserve it. I done worked hard. I done got my credit look. You know, so I remember we was going to a party, and I was, like I said, I had been, you know, sad. I had just been, you know, just not talking about it. And I was just, you know, still being JoJo, still laughing, still, you know, showing up, still, you know, because we went to my sister friend party. I think it was her birthday party. It was like a pool party. So still being cool, still, you know, funny, still, you know, having a good time, not showing no signs of I'm sad. So, we got in the car, y'all. When we got in the car, I remember telling my sister, y'all, I am really sad. Like, I told my sister, I'm like, I'm really, you know what I'm saying? I'm really sad, y'all, because, like, I've heard so many no's so many times, and, you know, like, I'm just getting discouraged. Like, y'all, I'm like, like I said, y'all, you know, the devil, you know, he been trying to, you know, he want me to be quiet, don't talk about it, you know. So this me being transparent, talking to my sister, and you know, telling her, you know, basically how I'm feeling. Like I said, I never like I this is the year God's telling me to talk about it, and I'm, you know, I'm healing, and God's revealing. He's telling me, you know, the things that, you know, this gonna help me basically. So I started, you know, like started talking about it, started telling my sister whatever, and she was just like, have you tried this so and so place? And I was just like, no. At this point, I'm like, you know, I ain't even gonna, you know, so I ain't gonna worry about it. So she was just like, try this place out. So someone was like, you know, try it out. So that Monday, like I said, there was a weekend. I think it was a Saturday. So that Monday when they opened up, I went down there, and I went down there, and she ran my credit, whatever. She was trying to get me a Nissan Altima, and it was nice. Like I said, I'm just like, she like, you want to try this? I'm like, yes, it's nice. Like, yes, let's try it. So she tried it, and they denied me. So I'm sitting down, I'm like, God, I know you sent me here. Like, I'm not knowing, you know, you told me to come here, you know. So she was like, so it's me, you know, instead of me getting sad, I'm like talking to God, like, you know, God, I know you don't, you know, you told me to come here because I was gonna give up. I was just gonna not worry about it. You told me to, you know, try this place. You was the reason why I opened up my mouth to express how I was feeling, because if I never did, my sister would never say, go try this place. So she like, hold on, let's try this car. So she was like, a Lincoln. I'm like, a Lincoln? I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking about a Lincoln. A Lincoln is a long, big car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know Lincoln, like, you know, when you are younger, like, you thinking about a Lincoln, you thinking about like a Cadillac on 22, like long. But I never seen the newer models. And so when she take me to this car, and I'm like, this is luxury. Like, how, if I can't get this Altima, how in the hell I'm gonna get this Lincoln, this nice Lincoln? Get in the car, y'all. The car is luxury. Got all the bells and whistles. It didn't have all the bells and whistles, but you know, it was luxury. I never had no luxury car like this. So I'm like, she like, we're gonna try this. Okay. So we tried it, y'all, and like I said before, she was like, you ain't got no co-signer with that Altima. I'm like, no, ma'am. So she tried it, y'all, and I got approved. For this 2020. It was 2020 Altima. I mean 2020 Lincoln MKZ, and I remember when I told God I wanted a luxury car. I did. So that Altima that was trying to work didn't work. That Toyota that I was trying to work didn't work. That Benz, I wasn't ready for it. I was not ready for it. So he's just like, you're gonna get this luxury car. You're gonna get this luxury car. It's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not no, you know, foreign. It's foreign, but it's not no foreign. Like, you know, you don't want to get yourself in, you know what I'm saying, he know how I am. He know how rough I am. You know, I was trying to be a good steward of my car that I had and keep it clean and make sure my kids didn't structure. So I was just like, you know, so like I said, I think I wasn't ready for the beings. But also, I'm the type of person that I don't like everything everybody like, you know, so this car is perfect. Like, this car is perfect. Ain't nobody going to no lot to my say want a Lincoln. So, like, it was perfect. It fitted me. Like I said, I stand out. I dare to be different. I don't want anything. You know, I wanted that. I wanted a big body Benz. I still want a big body Benz. I did want a big body Benz, but I fell in love with these Lincolns. I did. But I got the car, and I didn't even cosign. I didn't even need a cosigner. So that was nothing but God. That was nothing but God. And that, like, so let's get into episode 5, y'all. So, cause I don't talk to y'all head off. So let's get into 2024, and I'm gonna read y'all the things that, you know, I'm gonna be talking about in this year. So 2024 was a year of alignment, preparation, and deep revelation. I was still growing, still learning, still figuring out things. I was still settling into my home 7 months in, and on the surface it felt like progress, but spiritually God was calling me even deeper. 2023 was my last year in the clubs. My last year being a party promoter on flyers in that space. Not because it was wrong or because God didn't love me there, but because it no longer aligned with who he was calling me to be in this season. He was pulling me out so I wouldn't get distracted, so I would really lock in. I'm spiritually sensitive, and I came to understand that I could not keep carrying my own weight and everyone else's. My cup had been already empty so many times. I could not afford to keep absorbing environments, sins, and energy that wasn't mine to hold. God was teaching me discernment about myself, about others. Everything started to be revealed. And then I came to one of the hard revelations of all. The 13 years of my brother being missing, his remains were finally found. As painful as it was, I realized God had been preparing me for this moment all along. Still, the waiting was heavy. The sadness was deep, waiting on results, still in the unknown. People would stop me in stores and say, "Can I buy your stuff?" People would text me and tell me how much I meant to them. Clients would gift me things just because. People would tell me how much I inspired them. I felt awkward receiving it. I wasn't used to being poured into. I was used to pouring out. But God reminded me, you stepped back from pouring in 2023 so I could send people to pour into you. Even while I was sad, he was sustaining me so I wouldn't break. Fear tried to creep in because I felt like I had came so far in my healing journey, and I didn't want to lose ground. What I didn't realize that this was too a part of the healing, not a setback, a deeper layer. I was fast. When I found out in December 2024, I wanted results immediately. I wanted to hurry up and get it over with, but God had other plans. The results didn't come until 2025. Reminded me once again that healing happens on his time, not mine. 2024 taught me that alignment sometimes feels like loss, that preparation can feel like pain, and that God will never take you somewhere he hasn't already strengthened you for. Even when I didn't understand, he was still holding me. So like I said, I got in my house. I was in like in 2024. I was like in 7 months in. 6 months. I was like 6 months in. I was so happy, y'all. I am a family person, y'all. I love family gatherings. I love, you know, if I had to spend one summer before the lady put me out of my house, child. One summer, y'all, I was renting these big old water slides for the kids, and every weekend everybody used to just come over my house and just get on the water slide. We just barbecue. But anyway, I felt like this again because I felt like that was, you know, snatched away from me. And I was, you know, when I got in my apartment, I wasn't able to, you know, it wasn't parking space. I wasn't able to, you know, invite as many people that I had, you know, wanted to come over. So when I'm, you know, and at this time, y'all, I'm taking my time decorating. So that's why I said I'm 6 months in, because at this time, I'm taking my time. Like, I'm not rushing. Like, you know, I would also just think I should supposed to hurry up and get everything done. And I actually took my time and got, you know, decorated, and I, you know, how I wanted, even though, you know, it didn't work out how I wanted, because I wanted our bedroom to go downstairs so the kids would have their own room. But the dogs, I was not going to be down there with them dogs. So we made that like a little family space, and my kids end up sharing room. And here I am today, like, they have grown it, but I learned that, you know, be thankful, because God, you know, he's not done with me yet. I still believe, like, I haven't seen nothing yet, but he prepared me. He has, you know, given me a taste of how good it can get if you can just be grateful for where you at. So like I said, we did family gatherings. 4th of July was lit. Every holiday we were lit. Well, in the summertime, we barbecue. Everybody wanted to come over our house, and it was just like it was really a time. Like, the backyard just decked out. Like, I love the backyard. The backyard now is like the best part of the house to me. The dogs just that's their territory now. But I you know, I had a great time, and it was, you know, in ways that he was calling me deeper. He was calling me like the self work, doing like the self work in me. He was making me aware of things that I needed to change. Like I said, when you tell God to show me people, y'all, don't forget you. So he was also showing me from the inside out. And like, I would do like grounding. Like, I love grounding. A lot of people may not, you know, agree with this, but I like to ground. Like, I like to take my shoes off, and I like to walk in the grass, and that's, to me, is getting a connection with God. He's literally refilling my energy, and I feel like, you know, I'm recharged again, and like just connecting with nature. This is the year, like, I've never been like a nature girl, but I've started to like nature, just understanding God's creation. Like, I literally fell in love with God, and like, literally, you know what I'm saying, like, wanted to, you know what I'm saying, do anything to connect with him. Like, anything he was giving me to, you know, do like meditation. I would take my time out and just sit in the sun and just meditate, talk to God, leave my phone sitting down, or maybe sit down and just meditate. Maybe sometimes I'll be on my phone, but just meditate, especially when I would have, like, you know, anxiety attacks or whatever. I just, that too helped me to meditate, and you know, just sit in my thoughts, and just, you know, just my mind would race so much. But for me, my anxiety attacks had turned into panic attack when they first started, because I didn't know what was going on. Like, it's just like, what's going on? Like, I didn't understand that feeling, so it turned into panic attacks. But when I got a hold of that, and I realized, you know, it's gonna be okay. Like, your body, you have to really tell your body, like, you're gonna be okay. Like, you're okay. Like, your body's literally in fight mode. But anyway, like, that's where I got my meditation from. Sitting in my thoughts, and just, you know, sitting with me, still going on dates by myself, still, you know, giving me flowers, deeper into my childhood trauma. And my one thing I want to say was, I was trying to figure out, like, why every time my mama come in, like, my salon, like, why every time, even when she come, like, why every time her presence will make me irritated. Like, I don't want to be irritated with my mama. Like, when you say, you know, when you say you a good person, you have to realize, am I a good person in every aspect of my life? Like, am I a good mom? Am I a good girlfriend? Like, am I a good daughter? Like, you have to realize, and if you can't say you a good person in one of those aspects, in one of those, like, if I can't say I'm a good, you know, daughter or whatever, then how can I say I'm a good person? Because you cannot limit to who you want to be good to. Not saying I was good to my mama, but like certain, like, getting an attitude, like just, you know, just her presence, because and I had to get to the root of that. Like, why am I always, you know, in defense mode? My mom come on, or why am I always you know, she shifted. Like, should nobody have that much control of you to shift, you know what I'm saying, your energy? So I had to get to the root of that. Like, I'm still in a place where I'm healing my mama, and I'm gonna get to that in 2025, because that 2025, you know, it calls for, you know, it came deeper into, you know, the healing with my mom. But I was telling God, you know, like, I was like, God, I don't want to be, you know, irritated when my mama come around. Like, you know, changed it. Like, God changed me. So God allowed me to start being vocal to my mama. Like, everything my mama, you know, I didn't like, or, you know, say it. And it's uncomfortable for her, and I, you know, she may not had accepted or whatever, but it felt good for me to just release it, versus me getting an attitude and just, you know, having this stuff built up. And, you know, because you have to understand, my mama going through things too. My mama been through a lot. Y'all. My mama, one day my mama gonna be on this couch, and I want her to tell y'all things she been through. She been through a lot. But I just never been that person to just, you know, say, oh, she just going through things, that's why she act like that. No, because I want you to truly understand that change is necessary. And I want, you know, people to understand, like, you can change. I don't want to be around nobody who don't want to change. I don't want to be around nobody and say, that's just how she is. No, you need to change that. If that's triggering somebody, if that's, you know, causing the people that you love not even want to be around you, you need to change that. So he allowed me to just, you know, be not in a nasty way, not in, you know, rude or what. I was, you know, telling my mama, like, you know, hey, you need to, how you talk, how your tone, and I understand that you're irritated, but that's not how you talk. That's not how you know what I'm saying, you need to be patient. If you ride with something, baby, I was so that helped me be able to, like, you know, be in her presence, even if she is, like, you know, she doing something that would normally trigger me, or they're doing something that triggered me, you know, baby, check yourself. Like, but I want people to understand, I will walk away from anybody for my peace. I will walk away from anybody, literally, for my peace. And if you don't want to change, you don't want me to tell you where you're going wrong in your life, then you don't want me around you. I don't want, and that's vice versa. I want people to be able to tell me, hey, JoJo, you was wrong. Don't agree with anything that I've done, or anything that I'm doing, because that stunts your growth. That, you know what I'm saying, they hold people back. And I want people to take accountability. I take accountability for the things, like, even with, like, you know, like I told y'all about my, you know, being a mom. Like, I see the same cycles that I was going through with my mama. Like, my mama screamed, and it was just chaos. We grew up in chaos. My mom and my grandma just argued. Everybody just arguing. People came in. My grandma let everybody stay over there. Everybody stay with us. And like I told y'all, I'm very sensitive to spirits. So, it was a lot of chaos. It was just a lot of chaos growing up. So a lot of that came into my adult life. But I'm able to, like, God is making me self-aware. It's not, you know what I'm saying, who you are, or, you know what I'm saying, it's how you know what I'm saying, acknowledge it and take accountability. Hey, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like my mama. I don't want to be like, you know, the things that I grew up around. So I tell my kids, you know, if I'm irritated, or if I'm saying, you know, not being patient with them, I come back and I make sure I tell my kids I'm sorry. And I have conversations with my son, because he's a little bit older, even, but Paisley, she's mindset wise, I can have conversation with her too. But with my son, I want to make sure that, you know, that he isn't dealing with anything silently, because there's traits where I see him, you know, sometimes shutting down. And I talk to my baby, like, and, you know, just making sure, just giving him the insurance and telling him, you know, hey, I'm sorry. Is there anything that we can do better? Is there anything that, you know, that's not working out for, you know, and just you seeing your parents. Like, I talk to my babies, and that's the difference from, you know, when I was growing up, that, you know, we had to hush and we had to shut up. We had to just deal with it. And just, you know, and it was traumatizing. It was truly traumatizing. And I made a statement to my grandma, Like y'all, my grandma, listen, she the type of person, she stuck in her ways too. And like I said, I made a statement to my grandma, and I said, when one day my mom was arguing, and I told her I never want to be like y'all. I never want to be with my. I don't want to be like that with me and my daughter. And and I live for whatever, but she told me that hurt her feelings, and I told her I wasn't sorry because I truly felt like that, and I feel like that this is not right for y'all to be arguing. This is not right for y'all to not even like each other. Like, this is your daughter. This is your only daughter. This is your oldest daughter. Like, and I was seriously, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to go through that with my daughter. So, God gave me a voice really to start speaking up, and not, because I want my family to also get the growth, and I want my family to also do better. Like, we're a good family, but that's why the devil worked so hard in the household, because he fighted so hard against that, because he know the unity that brings us closer will get to the root, baby. Like, I can talk so much about our childhood and how we grew up, but I'm just glad I'm able to even, talk about it and tell them the things that I didn't like growing up and what they could do better. And, and my grandma be looking at me like this. And I still be talking my because, like, Granny, you need to do better. Like, yes, the things that you did, you played a part in it. And she's just like, well, it wasn't me. It was you. It take two. Because nobody didn't shift how they communicated. Nobody didn't, like, but, so a lot of things, I had my guards up with my mama. And there's a lot of things, how she, she used to talk to us. And, she said she didn't cuss us out, but at the end of the day, you might as well cuss us out. You didn't, and that's fine. Like, that's fine. My mama just didn't know. My mama didn't, she didn't know. And, but I don't want to be that parent that didn't know, and my kids are suffering from my trauma. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Accept it, and, ask God, go to God about it. Because this is my truth, and me being vocal about the things that hurted me should not move you in no. I mean, if it do, but, but don't allow that to get anything towards me in your heart, because me being vocal, like, so, yeah, 2024, I had to just start being open about, how I felt. Simple. And that helped me to be able to be around my mama and not feel no type of way, because whole time I'm acting out of hurt. I'm acting out of, something was in my heart towards my mama. So, like, I got to the root of that. I told God, and baby, he shifted it. He revealed what, he was still revealing. And it was still revealing in 2025. And it was all because I sat back and I said, I don't want anything that's hinder me from me getting my true blessings. Like, I don't want, once I got a taste of how good God could shift my mindset, how I'm shifting. This came from 2019 on to 2024, y'all. My mindset has shifted so good, so many ways. And my mindset has shifted in so many ways. I cannot, I'm explaining, but at this point, I'm doing whatever to keep my mindset growing, evolving. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to evolve. I didn't want to go backwards. I didn't want anything to hinder me. So he had been revealing everything that, even in my relationship, like, I started to be very vocal about the things that I wanted. I'm not a bare minimum chick, okay? Like, and I started to be vocal versus me being, arguing and, even if I would talk about it, he was saying, you talking about it, but you're not communicating. You communicate, but it's how you communicate. So I'm like, I shifted, even, I didn't care anything about me sounding like me nagging. I'm just being vocal, and it wasn't just, it was with everybody. It was with everybody. I was setting boundaries. I was telling people how I wanted to be treated. I was telling people what bothered me, and a lot of people didn't understand, but I had to understand to my loved ones. This is what kept me in bondage. This is what kept my mindset. This is what kept my mental in shambles. Me being able to, me not talking about the things that I'm not okay with. So this had nothing to do with you. This has all of what, this is all what having, this got a lot to do with me. Me going forward and not backwards. So I was, I was explaining to siblings, clients, y'all was telling my clients, like, listen, like, being late is just, it just triggers me. And it's not just you being late, but it's just you not being able to communicate with me. Because what the devil did, and not just in my personal life, but in me being a hairstylist, he'll make me feel like nobody care about you. Me overthinking, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. If nobody, they and I don't want, like, I didn't want nobody to be entitled to me. I didn't, I didn't want nobody to be entitled. Have no entitlement to me. No, I don't care what role you had, you are. Mama, sister, great brother, I don't care. Nobody should be nobody. I didn't want nobody entitled to JoJo, because that made my mindset in bondage. Like, they had me, my mindset in bondage. They had my mental in shambles. And like I said, just being okay with things that I know I'm not okay with. So I was just started to be very vocal about who, how I wanted to be treated. If I require you to say I appreciate you, and when you ask me for something, that's what I need. Because like I said, the devil would have me overthinking. They don't care about you. They think they think you just ATM. It had nothing to do with y'all. It's had everything to do with me and my mindset and who I want. I want to continue to be. I don't want to go backwards, y'all. So that year, I started to be very vocal about how I wanted to be treated as friend, sister, brother. I just keep saying a brother, y'all. I'm not a boy. I promise I'm not a boy. So a lot of things, like I said, I try to be, friends with people, and a lot of things, like one girl, she tried to get out with paying me some money, and it wasn't about, because she didn't enjoy the club, she didn't want to give me my money, so I'm the type of person, I'm like, hey, I just pay. I also had this bad. I'm like, hey, I'll pay this. I'll pay the whole amount, and y'all can just give me the money when y'all, give me the money later. So I was just, just include myself, just trying to prove that, I'm a great friend. Like, so I'm trying to prove myself, and I'm like, hey, I pay for this section, and y'all just give me the money later. But anyway, it just, so the young lady, she was just like, so she didn't enjoy herself at the club. And I get it. The people, they didn't bring us no ice or something. But at the end of the day, if this is your friend, like, I feel like if this is your friend, then forget about your friend paid her money, her hard-working money. So if you feel like you wasn't finna give your money, your friend her money back because you didn't enjoy herself, that means you like, what I'm saying, like, you don't care nothing about your friend, because at the end of the day, she still paid her money on behalf of you. So it's like I said, she was a great, I feel like she was a great friend, but it was things that I seen, it's just like, nah, like, this gonna trigger my trauma. This gonna trigger me, because, like, if I feel like you trying to get out on me, you try one time, I feel like you'll do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And I feel like, what I'm saying, things like that, people will set you up. Like, you have to realize, like, if somebody do something wrong to me, I guess it's because the things that the Holy Spirit revealed to me with my brother, I knew that friends can easily snake you out, easily, because, like, if they feel like I said, if you think, and I said last episode, if you think a certain way, then the devil can say, hey, I can put this on you. Hey, you can, what I'm saying, I can put this in you, and you can set your friend up. I can put this in you, and you can make it hurt your friend. Like, what I'm saying, you have to watch that. And like I said, I was going forward, I was evolving, and I walked away from, that situation, because, like, I didn't want, I didn't want to feel like, somebody was using me, or somebody didn't care about me. So, yeah, I just walked away from a lot of stuff. from that situation for sure. But I walked away from, you know, that because it's like a lot of things was just triggering my trauma, and it didn't have nothing to do with nobody else. But I just didn't want to go backwards. I had been there even before I had started getting friendships. I had been there. I've been hurt. I've been, you know, I've been used. So I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to feel like that again. I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to trust my discernment. I wanted to go forward, not backwards. I didn't want to tell nobody head up, you know. And it's never about the money. And that's the thing. I used to say it's never about the money, and that's why I used to just give it away so freely. But God was saying, if you give all your money, then what you gonna have? And ain't nobody gonna give not a flying. They not gonna care. They gonna look at you as, you know, she gonna always come through. So that's why I had to take a break, and I'm still, you know, I'm still not there yet. But I had to take a break of giving so much. I had to take a break of pouring. I had to take a break. So now people just like, I'm like, you know, hey, I need my money. And at first it was weird. And at first it's weird, and especially like, you know, saying, hey, this is what I need y'all to give on gas. It's versus when I was broken and saying, hey, I got it. Y'all ain't gotta give nothing, you know. And you know, like, you know, like, I had to stop expecting me out of people. Like, of course, somebody tell me you ain't gotta give now. I'm like, girl, yes I am. Like, I'm riding with you. I'm gonna give you some money. I'm gonna, you know, because it makes it easier. It makes it easier on the person. Like, if you give all your money out, or you just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, you're never gonna get to your goal. No matter how much money you got, you're never gonna get to your goal. Never. Because it's just gonna be a continual cycle. You're gonna think you always supposed to provide, always supposed to come through for these people. No. Allow God to tell you, Holy Spirit to tell you to give. (2023) was also the year where, you know, I realized that I wanted to. People may not say this, but yes, I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be liked by everybody. And, you know, it's because, you know, hey, who don't want to be liked? Like, if you don't want to be liked, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's you. I wanted to be like, I wanted people to see the good in me. Even like, you know, God was showing me, like, you know, I was, you know, I was very much self-aware and trusting my discernment. So I would see people, and I would see, you know, how they, you know, communicate me on the internet, but when I see them in public, they like they don't see me, or, you know, so that hurted my feelings. That made me feel some type of way. Or they'll be dry, or they'll, you know, they'll look me up and down before they see me, and I'm looking at them. You know how you look at your eye, but you see somebody, but they trying to see if you see them first, and they looking at you up and down, like they looking at you crazy. So I'm looking at this, and it hurted my feelings. It hurted my feelings. That's into, you know. So there was also a lack of identity, and, you know, that made me feel some type of way. Like I said, I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved by everybody. So, you know, God, you know, he told me, hey, everybody not gonna like you. You see these people, believe it. Let them. When you see people, how they looking at you, and they act like they don't see you, and they, you know, but they act like they just love you so much on Facebook, believe them. So in 2024, I made a snap, and I said, you don't have to like me. You don't have to fake kick it with me. You don't have to fake kick with me. I mean, I'll notice when people will try to, you know, people will share my accomplishments, share, you know, the YouTube channels, and then they go back and delete it and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't have to fake kick it with me, bro. Like, you know, if you don't want to say hey to me, don't say hey to me. Don't fake kick it with me. Don't fake like me. I don't understand why people do that. You don't have to fake kick it with nobody. My sister would tell me all the time, like, you just so friendly, you so friendly. You waving at these folks, and I just hate how they just don't, they waving dry, and they don't. I didn't care. I still was waving. But inside, that really hurted my feelings. I tried to act like it ain't bothered me. It hurted my feelings. It hurted my feelings. Seeing people that, you know, people, and it's not the people, it's the spirits on people. They don't like you. I know they don't like me. I know they see the light in me. So that caused me to dim myself a lot too. Wanted to be liked, wanted to be accepted, and like I said, it has nothing to do with nobody. They had nothing to do with nobody. They had something to do with the childhood and how the things that I was going through, the things that, you know, that hurted me, the things that, you know, people pleasing, the abandonments, the abandonment issues. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be accepted. Like I said, growing up, I didn't get the, you know, saying do good in school. I didn't get make all A's. I didn't get I'm proud of you. I didn't get, you know, keep going. I didn't get that. So it fell onto my adult life, and I wanted to, like, I looked for, I looked at, you know, I looked at to be liked. I looked for to be accepted. I looked for people, you know, validations. But God was showing me. He said, you no longer have to, you know what I'm saying, worry about you. Don't let that get to you. Don't let that get to you. Don't let that make you change who you are, because people are nasty and they you know what I'm saying, they mean girls. They really don't like you. I know people talked about me. I know people talk about me. Things, you know, even hair. I know doing hair. I know, you know, people talk about me. Hairstylists, like, people don't understand that, you know. So in even with, you know, people, I know people talk. People come back and they tell me, you know, hey, so and so said this about you. But God was telling me, you know, still love them, still, you know, share their things, still, because people don't understand. People don't understand their lack of identity. People don't understand. So when they see you, they say, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, I can, you know, this girl, you know, this girl do good hair. I do good hair, but she still, you know, she's still sharing my stuff, not caring. People, somebody had asked me, you know, you're not scared if you share this and somebody may get your clients? No, because if my clients go to somebody else, that means it was time for them to get away from move, go to another person. People see me in public, like, they get their hair, have their hair done by somebody else, and they about to break their neck, dodging, ducking and dodging, and I'm like confused. I'm trying to say hey, and they ducking and dodging. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I've never been that stylist to be like, you know, don't. If somebody counts on you, don't try to come to me, because you never know. If that person may be sent to you by God, and now you don't gain another client. Don't miss your blessing. And even if that client, go back to that client. Like, don't speak ill on the next trying to get another client. My business always been successful with that mindset. People say, how your business be successful? I literally don't hate on the next. I literally clap for everybody around me. And I remember when older stylists, they wasn't as welcoming me coming up, me being, you know, coming out of high school. It wasn't as, you know, maybe some people, but, you know, they wasn't as welcome. So I make sure that I do the same for the generation under me. I never want to be that person. When I grow up, I don't never want to be an old bitter woman and hating on no young girl because I didn't, you know, they doing or they popping it. Like, no, I want to have so much confidence in myself that I can, like, I have so much confidence in myself that I can compliment anybody. I can share anybody's work when it comes to my hair. So me just want to be liked and want to, like, it took a toll out on me. But when God really showed me who I am, He showed me who I am. He said, you no longer have to explain yourself. You no longer have to hit nobody up. Hey, what you say? And you no longer have to. Because you the blueprint. You that girl. You that girl. So when God showed me who I was in 2024, you know, He really showed me my identity. He really, in 2005, but 2024, I'm going on to 2025. He's still showing me, but He's showing me for real. He's showing me in 2024 who I am. But you no longer have to, you know, like, I'm like, Lord, now that you show me who I am, God, keep me humble, like, because, you know, I'm really that girl. Whether I put on clothes, whether not, but my inside, my soul is beautiful. My soul is beautiful. And I do things. I'm flawed. I do things. I've done things, but I'm aware, and I people don't understand when I pray and I'm saying, hey, I didn't like how, you know what I'm saying, I even when it comes to like gossiping and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm well aware. No, I'm not completely stopped gossiping. I still got with my siblings, I still gossip from time to time. But I'm so aware. I'm like, man, I don't want to, you know, God, forgive me, God, you know, like, you know, because, you know, I I don't want to do nothing unpleasing to God. But also, I know that I'm his daughter. I know he, and I'm gonna get too far, 2025. But the next episode I'll talk more about sonship. But yeah, like, so let me talk about the times when, you know, God told, he called me at the clubs. So 2023, he told me come out the clubs. He said don't be on no more flyers. He said don't be no more, you know, don't promoting. I probably went to the club last year, 2024, probably one time, literally. Like, I literally, you know, I was obedient, and if it's more, God forgive me, but I remember, like, I wasn't on no flyers. Even when people was reaching out to me, hey, can you be on my flyer? I'm like, no. And I, you know, the person that I am, I want to say yes, because if these folks, you know, it's their birthday, and, you know, I want to, you know, but I was able to say no. I wanted to be obedient. I wanted to be obedient to whatever God, you know, told me to do. So, I remember in 2023 also when I was in the club, and I visited this girl who, she was like very, I would say sanctified, and she was telling me how, you know, she was asking me, you know, how could I be in the clubs and still serve God? Or how could I be in the clubs and love God? Or, you know, it was a way that she was trying to put it. And I could not understand. Well, I could understand, but I could not explain myself. And I was really getting frustrated, and I was crying. I'm like, you know, God, I have a relationship with God. Like, you know, it's a difference. Like, you know, I have a relationship with God, and he's allowed me to, you know what I'm saying? He didn't tell me nothing about coming out no clubs. You know, he didn't tell me nothing about stop doing this. He didn't tell me that. He probably seen better things that I needed to be worked on more than me coming out the clubs. So I'm telling her, you know, I have a relationship with God. Like I said, I'm crying, and she's, you know, she's telling, you know, she thinking she, you know, she like, it's okay. And I'm like, really want to tell her, like, no, like, I'm really frustrated because I cannot explain to you, you know, how I want to be explained. I told her, you know, I'm walking in my truth. And she was just like, she was basically like, what is walking in your truth? Like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, she was like, explain walking in your truth. And I wouldn't say she was nasty about it, but the way, you know, I felt like, you know, I'm not like, it was like coming off of religious, and like, I knew God loved me. I knew, like I said, I started in 2019, but I always knew God. I always knew God when I asked God to give my dad another something. I always knew God was real, but I knew God because my mama knew God, not because I, you know, had a relationship with him myself. So as I got a relationship with him. You know, he's showing me, he's shifting me, he's shifting my mindset. It's better things that I probably need to work on, like my mental health, than coming out a club. So I could not explain, I could not explain that, because I still, I still knew that I was loved by God. I still knew that, I had a relationship with God, and I talked to this man, even when in the clubs. I talked to this man. I'm able to talk to people about God in the clubs. So I knew, I had a relationship with God, and I kept going. I cannot lie. She discouraged me, because I'm like, God, she a little bit more farther than she know the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people that know how to quote the Bible. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Lord, I'm getting discouraged. But some of me just like, keep going, and don't get discouraged. And I cannot lie. Church people did, discourage me, and I would see, how people, would talk about, you cannot love God and smoke weed. You cannot love God and you cuss. You cannot love God and you in the club listen to secular music. But that's in like 2023. I'm still in the clubs or whatever. But I heard at the end of 2023, do not be in the club. It actually was like in December, and I actually hosted a watch night 2024, but. He said, do not be on another flyer in 2024. Do not be in the clubs in 2024. Not because God didn't accept me. Not because God was, saying that, I was lukewarm, or, he not none of that. It was because, like I told y'all, I was a very sensitive person. So spirits will, in that season, he knew things would keep me off track. He knew that I could no longer be in those environments with sins. He knew I couldn't be in those environments with people weights, and I'm carrying my own weights. I'm trying to drop off my own weights. Like, he knew I could not be in environments like that. He knew I could not. He knew something. He knew. So I was only obedient, and that God, he was patient with me. He was patient with me. My heart posture changed. He was so patient with me. I didn't, like I said, you're not going to change overnight. You're not, whatever God is calling you to do, he's calling you to do it. Like, even when it's coming to the movie, like, I'm like, God, you know, there's going to be a times where I'm going to have to do, you know, come out of character and stuff. He said, you're not that character. You listen to your conviction. Like, you know, like, God love us, y'all. And how these people trying to make it is not how, you know, he's patient, he's kind, he give grace, he allowed growth and not force. Like, he allowed my heart posture to change. He allowed my conviction to mature, and he allowed my conviction matured as my identity matured. Like, he was giving me so much clarity and understanding on why I could not be in the clubs. And like I told you, I'm a very sensitive person, and if I would have not listened to God and still did my own thing, like, I probably would have went right back to my mental health, my mental struggles. Who knows? Like, I had to be obedient, and like, I enjoyed myself. And like I said, I was so in love. Like, I'm so in love with God. I want to do whatever he was telling me to do to be pleasing unto him. Like, and I owe this to this man. This man still loved me, and on this walk, he still loved me. He still allowed me to be in the club. Check me, man. He still loved me. He still loved me. So even when I was in the clubs, even as me being a cusser, even as me listening to secular music, I still was getting closer to God. I still, those things, like, this how you know when you know it's conviction or it's not for you, when it draw you closer, when it draw you from God. Those things should not draw you to God, you know, from God. It should, you know, if it draws you from God, then you need to change it up. You need to change it up. But so that did not make, believe it or not, y'all, those things do not make you, you know, lukewarm Christian. It's, you know, he sees your heart, you know. And for example, y'all, I want to give y'all an example. I brought down some examples. For example, conviction can sound like, this environment is distracting your spirit, has been distracting your spirit lately. Let's talk about balance. Guilt sound like, Christians shouldn't be here, you're fake. Now listen to, like, my conviction, like, religion has you feel like you're guilty. Guilt, like God's not gonna accept you, God's not gonna love you. Even when I'm cussing, like, I don't be like, oh my God, God's gonna be mad at me. I don't, like, you know, of course I want my language to change, and I say it all the time, like, look, Lord, change my language. Even when I'm at the podcast, me being able to flow and not cuss, like, it's big for me. Like, it's big because I'm a cusser, y'all. I'm a cusser. But so conviction can sound like, your words are powerful, let's refrain how you express yourself. Guilt can sound like, God is mad at you again. So people look at worldly folks and start judging them, but sometimes them folks be the closest people to God. They be the closest ones. Like, God help different people in the world to reach. Those people with the long skirts and holy and then thou cannot reach the people that's in the clubs, and reach people that's, you know, look like me or look like. So he helped you in those areas so you can help somebody else. That's how I looked at it. That's where I got from it. That's, you know what I'm saying, God was, like I said, God was still, you know, I was still loving God. I was still, but at times, like, I do remember me going, when I was in clubs, and I'm like feeling drained. I'm feeling like, you know, it's because, you know, people have spirits, people have sadness, people are dealing with things too. And a lot of people not, you know, they don't have their relationship. A lot of people don't have their relationship with God. But if you have a relationship with God, I have no reason to say, no, you don't. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do, literally. I don't care if you on baddies fighting. Like, for example, Kashan, like, if she say she had a relationship with God, I don't care what she do. You have a relationship with God, God can help you through all that. Even if you know what I'm saying, you still doing things, God can help you with all that. But, you know, you just never know what people, you know, what God convicted people about. Give grace, because God gave grace. You may be mature in Christ, but these are like people some people are babies in Christ. So their walk is not going to look like your walk. You should know better. Yes, you should know better. God think you should know better. But he gives those people grace because he's babying them. He don't want to lose them. He don't want to, you know what I'm saying? He want He wants them to draw them closer to him, not away. Not away. So I'm a firm believer in, like, you don't have to wear the long skirts. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to. As long as you seek a relationship with God, He will tell you exactly what you need to be doing. Literally. That's exactly where I was. I was not going into church all the time. He came and helped me right in my living room. 2019, 2020. God, I'm tired of this. They said just talk to you. I started just talking to him. People think, oh, my life gonna change. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I ain't ready to change. I ain't ready to get right. Don't stop thinking like that. You need a relationship with God. Stop thinking you just because you get a relationship with God, you ain't gonna have fun. What? Until God tell me, you don't need to be listening to that, because that's gonna consume your mind. That's gonna bring. I'm so strong, and if I whatever music I like, it does not define who I am in Christ. God loves me, brother. Whatever I'm listening to. You can be in the world and not of the world, literally. So these people that have these rules and stuff, like those people, like, you know, that they're it's giving cold, it's giving gang. Y'all relax. So that's my whole thing. Like, I really want people that look like me, that people that's in the clubs, people that's whatever you do that don't look like what church people do. I want you to know that you can get a relationship with God. It does not mean you're going to change overnight. It does not mean you need to change overnight. It doesn't. Some people need to change immediately. Some people need change immediately, and God, whatever God will do that for you if you seek that relationship with God. But I promise you, y'all, it's the best thing that happened to me. Peace is the best thing. If you know what I'm saying, that's the real woke. Being able to be self-aware and, you know what I'm saying, recognize spirits that try to attack you, and you pray it off. Like, that's the real woke. Like, I don't care. Like, as long as you have if you have a relationship with God, that's on people. You know what I'm saying? You head in the right direction, baby. You the real woke. I'm telling you. So even in this season of 2023, I took a step back of pouring into people, and God started sending people to pour into me. He was sending people to pour into me, whether they in my life or not. But he sent people to pour into me. They was, people see me at the store, like I said, and hey, let me buy you stuff. Let me, what I'm saying, I believe this is good ground. I believe this is a good, this is a good seed. Let me do this for you. And people will bring me gifts on my birthday, or Valentine's Day, or Christmas, and like from like my clients, and people will text me and tell me how much I inspired them. People that I didn't even think that, what I'm saying, didn't care about me. Not saying care about me, but like girls that that may not be girls, I don't know, but people just people tell me how much I inspired them, and it's just so awkward. It was so awkward. It's still a little awkward, but it was real awkward when it first started. And just like, I had to remember, like, God told me to take a step out for pouring. He sent people literally to pour into my life, and it was amazing. It's amazing. So I had to realize, why in the world am I so hard to accept gifts? So Holy Spirit gave to me that you shrink yourself so much that you don't want to be seen. You don't want to, you don't want people to feel like you better than them. I didn't want people to feel small about me, saying thank you for being accepted. Like, a part of me wants to dim and stay small and stay, or upset the balance. But God revealed to me that the revealing isn't selfish. It wasn't ignorant. It was a form of alignment. Receiving is a way of allowing God to show His provision through people, through blessings, through grace. He was teaching me that my cup has value. That I don't have to pour endless into others while leaving myself empty. So when people will bless me, it wasn't about me being better than them or above them. It was about God saying it's okay to be nourished. It's okay to be recognized. It's okay to be accepted. What I have prepared for you, learning to accept, became a part of the root work. Understanding myself, my worth, and the way God wanted me to walk in abundance without guilt. Receiving isn't prideful. It's maturity. It's faith. It's growth. And I'm still learning that I've gotten better. But I've gotten better. And I'm still learning, but I've gotten better to accept. And I'm still learning. Y'all, I wanted to read it. That was I had to read it off my notes. Y'all, I told y'all I'm going to get everything out. But yes, like, so that I had to get to the root of why I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't accept. So fast forward, y'all. 2024 was also the year. So in August they said, you know, we didn't pay no mind, but they was like, her remains was found at this house in August, and at the time my cousin had got killed, and my mom was, you know, everybody was, you know, calling my mama saying, did you know they found some remains or whatever? So my mom was just like, I ain't got time, you know, my cousin just got killed. You know, she ain't saying, you know, brushing it off, but he was just saying, like, you know, she had a lot going on or whatever, and, you know, people had been saying about remains, and we have heard everything over the years. So, you know, my mama really holding on, and I can't say to me too, I was holding on to the fact that my brother was going to come back. And even with dreams, and, you know, I would have dreams throughout the years or whatever, but we didn't know that he was going to come back spiritually. Spiritually, he was coming back. Physically, he wasn't. So he was coming back, but it was spiritually. So in December, so it's August, and in December, I think it's around Thanksgiving, this lady, the coroner reached out to my mama, and they were like, you know, can you do a blood test? And my mama was like, you know, so my mom went and did a blood test, and we had to wait, and she didn't tell us about it, but she said she didn't tell us about it till like some weeks after. So she told us, and that she had to do a blood test or whatever. So December came, and I'm like, Lord, you know, I've came so far, like, you know, I don't want to, you know, I feel like, you know, this is gonna set me back. Like, I've been healing, like, you know, I'm, you know, I need this to hurry up and come. Like, it's, you know, I need the results to come on now. I'm gonna take this into the new year. So, you know, I'm waiting, and I didn't realize I had fell back into depression because I was waiting, I was eating, I had picked up so much amount of weight because, you know, I stopped smoking, and it was like 6 months I had stopped smoking or whatever. So, So spiritually, yeah, my brother did come back or whatever, but I'm gonna get into that in 2025, the next episode. But just that waiting game, it was so much. It was so much on me, but it didn't break me because throughout that year, God had been preparing me. He had been sending people in my life to fill my cup. He had been preparing me the whole time, and I didn't even know it. But so people say, you know, how come, you know, it's 13 years later, how come, you know, because if God would have gave us that years ago, we would have probably lost our mind. If God would have gave me that last year, I probably would have lost my mind. So you don't, you know, you count your blessings. You thank God that, you know, it did come with even though it came when it came or whatever. But it was tough. It was tough, just, you know, even seeing the things that they took off the body, the belt, and I knew but I knew my brother wore this particular belt, and I knew that, you know, it I said, God, if I see this belt, I know it's my brother. So I be seeing the belt, and the belt was familiar, although the shoes wasn't familiar, and the so it was just preparing, and so like I said, it didn't come. The results still didn't come, and then 2024. So we having to, you know, hold on and I'm trying, you know, being so strong, y'all. I didn't have nobody, you know, I probably had people to talk to, but I didn't use it. I didn't use it to, you know, because I'm still like, I don't know. I really don't know, but like, somebody had told me, JoJo, you don't have to be so strong. Why are you being so strong? In that moment, I just released it. But My brother came back spiritually. He did. And I know God, he wouldn't have released it if he didn't think we wasn't ready. And I truly think we was ready, because it was too a part of the healing journey for me. So I appreciate, I appreciate my brother, and the thing is, like, remains for that many years, how it was still attached, how, it was really, it's nothing but God. And before that, my mom had said, she went to this place and she cried out to God. She said, God, bring me my son back. I want my son back, even if it has to be his bones. And God did that. He brought him back spiritually. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode, and I'm gonna leave y'all with some encouraging words. So y'all already know at the end of this episode, I gotta give y'all some encouraging words. Before you go, I want to leave you with this. 2024 was the year of receiving, learning how to let people, blessings, and God's favor flow into my life without guilt or fear. If you ever been awkward receiving love or gifts, know that this is not pride. It's proof that your cup has value, that God wants to fill you. You're allowed to be nourished. Learning to receive a part of healing, part of growing, part of stepping into alignment God has for you. So if you've been shrinking, dimming, or holding back to avoid standing out, let it go. Your light, your worth, your healing is not a threat. It's a reflection of God can do things through you. You're allowed to accept goodness. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to pour in. You're allowed to be poured into. Even in sadness, even in waiting, even when it feels uncomfortable, your cup can be full. And when it is, you're overflow. Not for yourself, but for the world God has placed you in. Yeah, that made me very emotional, because this month is the year. This month is the month that, saying that we did get the results or whatever in that 2025. So me being able to push through sadness and grief, and it's been tough. Like, but it's I know God is with me. I know it's warfare. I know it's also grief, and grief come when when your knowledge gets stronger, when you get wiser. So a lot of things are going to get stronger, that come up against you, but you're made for this. God won't put too much on you to bear. He won't. So I want y'all to know, just keep going, and don't get too caught up in trying to be somebody you're not. Don't get too caught up in performing. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay not to be okay. Let me say it again. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay. I want y'all to sit in the moments that God is blessing you with, because it's blessings, and because on the other end it's eternal. It's eternal, so bright. So acknowledge that you are sad. Acknowledge that you are depressed, but don't stay there too long. Don't say, God, what are you trying to show me in this season? What are you trying to show me in the middle of this chaos? What are you trying to show me? My mindset shifted over the years. God, what are you trying to show me? Enough of being sad because something happened. What are you trying to show me? God is trying to show you something in the middle of the chaos. He is. So just realize and take a step back and know that God is with you. God is trying to show you who you are, and you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to evolve. You want to grow, and although silent battles cannot no longer live there, it's get you some help. No matter what you got to do to get you some help, silent battles kills you, okay? Silent battles kills you, okay? So I need y'all to get help. I need y'all to love you first. I need you to put yourself first. I need y'all to, understand that you're not crazy, okay? You got work to do, okay? So I love y'all, and I really thank y'all for reaching out to me, seeing me, trusting me with the things that y'all reaching out to me about. And I pray for y'all, and I really like I said, this is why I'm doing the works, and this is why God had me exactly where He had me to help somebody else. So I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next episode. I thank y'all for tuning in. This is episode 5, and yeah, let's get it. Like episode 5, y'all. Like we only going higher. I got one more episode, and I'm gonna start. You know, I asked God to, you know, send me my people that He want me to bring on this platform. And I got my I think I got my people lined up. So stay tuned for that. You got one more episode to understand who I am. Then I'm gonna start bringing people, guests on here. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited for you know, to bring people on here. And like I said, I love y'all. I see y'all next episode. Episode 6. Episode 6. Shout out to my brother and loving member of you. This is you still causing hell, y'all. This month, this week, the house was torn down that they found him in, and so I feel like, you know, every time I walk past by the house, y'all, my stomach gets to my ass. So I'm so thankful for that. And the people that tore it down and say how they were so sad for tearing it down. This lady said her husband said she was so sad for tearing it down because she felt like they could use that for evidence. And I'm like, he did a good deed. You know that he did a good deed, and he helped. You know, it's still not gonna be easy passing by the area, but just that house itself had to go. He had to go. My brother is still, they said they was going to tear it down last year. My brother is still he still took down the cause of him. A lot of people, they didn't like him. A lot of people had, you know, they hated on my brother, the way he dressed, the way his personality was. I'm always keep him alive. I'm always, you know what I'm saying, do the things, you know, that he always said I'm gonna be somebody. He said he thought I was gonna be singing, y'all. I don't know. I like to sing. I used to like to sing, and I think I lost it because I wasn't trying to perfect it. But he said I was gonna be somebody, and he wanted me to buy him some stuff, a truck or something, and you know. So my brother, I'm doing exactly what God want me to do, and worried about the materialistic thing. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it but I know God is going to bless me. I know God is going to bless me tremendously. I know God is going to bless me. He's going to get, you know, because he promised us the promise. But the promise for me is the mental health, the mindset shift, the healing, the getting to the root of the childhood trauma. Like, that's been the biggest blessing. So I believe once he blessed you with that, once he, you know what I'm saying, he seen me. He wanted to clean me up. He wanted me to get through that first before he blessed me with the things that, you know, so I can be able to steward the things, so I can be able to walk in rooms and still be myself, so I can be able to stay humble. So what God is doing in my life, I know, you know, it's something no man can take credit of, not even me. So like I said, in loving mirror, my brother, I love you, bro. This month I want y'all to keep us, I don't want to say that because I don't like people praying for me, y'all. But I want y'all to keep us, keep my mama lifted or whatever, because this month, these 3 months, February and March, is gonna be, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard, and I'm so happy. I'm so proud of her for taking off and not, you know, pouring into the community like she was every year, and you know. So keep her uplifted, and yeah, I really appreciate y'all. But like I told y'all, I'm so sensitive when it comes to just, you know, everything. So a lot of things I be going through spiritually, a lot of battles, it be warfare. So my people, y'all know who y'all are. Keep me lifted. And I love y'all, and I see y'all next episode, episode 6. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell so y'all be notified whenever you post a video. And I will be back to see y'all. Love y'all. Bye. I shall well.